Hello everyone, welcome back. We've got a new day ahead of us. We've got burning zombies in the fields. We've got ripe wheat to pick. Made a few minor adjustments to camp. And I'd like to show them to you real quick. So the first thing I did was I prepped this area here for our next project. I flattened it out, marked out some guidelines, and made the area a little safer and easier to move around. Got stairs going on these sides here. It's still kind of flat right here because we've got these melons here. Oops, I just landed on that. Now let's fix that for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Anyway, didn't mean for that to happen. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's gonna make a mess. Guess I better put that dirt back down. I was thinking that this melon over here might not have water, but I think it actually does. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. And then that one's watered from there. Alright, so we're alright. Put that melon seed back in. Anyway, distraction aside, I also squared this off a little bit. It's about time for us to do something about this hole. We're going to be wandering all over here all the time, and the last thing we need is to accidentally fall in this hole and get ourselves killed. So that's one of the first things we're going to do in the video. I moved this bamboo patch over a little bit so we could get that full 2-block margin. And I moved our Enderman slaying hut a little bit and upgraded the visual appearance of the blocks. It's not any more functional than it was before, but it looks nicer. We had raiders show up while you were away. I grabbed another banner and stuck it on this hut. What we're looking at here is polished diorite and polished granite. And I put sand in the middle. The reason I did that is this way we have a nice little red line on the ground. If we get out to the edge of this, then when an Enderman shows up, those big black guys with the purple eyes come running after you when you see them, when you look them in the eyes. If you get all the way to the edge, they'll be able to hit you. But if you're standing back behind these red bricks here, then they won't be able to hit you. So that's a little guideline to help me know where to stand when I'm fighting them, because every once in a while I get a little excited, I get a little too far out, or I don't know where I am exactly. So that helps me to see. And I put sand in the middle here, partially because it looks nice, but also because if you listen, you can hear that there's a sound when you're stepping on sand. But not so much when you're stepping on stone. So that helps me know I'm in the right place too. Even though that sound might be drowned out by other things that are going on, it's one nice little additional thing to help you know you're in the right place. And I put a torch here to make sure that these bricks are well lit so that, you can see here the bricks are darker. Especially when it's getting a little dark outside, it'll be darker still. So that makes sure that they'll be bright, well lit, easy to see when I'm not looking right at them. Just like, oh, I can't see the red anymore, or I can barely see the red. Time to back up, Anyway, and it looks nice. The way you make those polished stones, you can do it from the crafting table, but it's more efficient if you take them over to the stone cutter. So you can make unpolished granite pieces, like a wall, or stairs, or slabs like we put in our fields, or you can make polished ones. And those blocks you just looked at with the polished granite blocks. And they're a little bit sharper and easier to see than these regular granite blocks are. I can show you what that'll look looks like side by side. You know, it's still pretty visible. But not quite as visible. They're a little darker, you can see. They're not, the contrast isn't quite as good. So that'll help make them more visible. And they look nicer. And why not have a nice looking home? Speaking of homes, we should probably build a home soon. That won't be in this video, but the polished diorite is much the same. You can see it side by side here. Big difference. Underneath. So it's a lot easier to see. Not that we're going to be looking up very often, but it looks nicer and it goes with the polished granite. So that will take care of us for slaying Endermen for quite some time. Now we have a nice, easy place to run to. It should be really easy to see from everywhere in our camp. Let's see, what else did we do? Obviously I expanded those melon fields a little bit. Looks like he trampled. He did. He trampled our melons. This rascal. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. I'm not even sure why he trampled it. There weren't even any melons there for him to trip over. Oh well. We're not going to be using that melon field there very much longer. So let's get to our projects for this video before we get going too long. You can see this field is almost completely ripe. It's ripe enough that it's worth harvesting. Waiting longer, that just keeps us from making more wheat. Waiting for this last little guy to grow up, you know, that could take 2 more days and we could be halfway to a fully ripe field in that amount of time. So better to harvest it now, even though they're not quite all ripe yet. And that is a pretty simple process. We just smack it all down like this. There's a couple of different ways that I do it. There's this way where I do about half of a given field plot at a time. And that I feel like is pretty efficient. But there's also another way. When I'm really on the ball, I can just sweep wide and hit the whole thing. But you have to move a little bit while you do it. So if you're not doing it quite right, it can slow you down a little bit. That's kind of the way I prefer to do it. I don't feel like it's that much harder to do. And you don't have to run back and forth as many times, so you save time. Now we just have to pick up all the little bits that have dropped everywhere. And that's everything. As you might remember from before, it takes 5 stacks of seeds to replant this field. So we're going to put 5 stacks down there. I'm shift left clicking to move it directly to the bar without having to pick it up and move it down myself. Save some time. Anything we can do to make this process go faster is something we need to do, because as we continue to develop our camp and we have more and more little chores like this to do, it can get to the point where all you're doing is harvesting crops or taking care of this thing or that other chore that needs to be done. So efficiency is helpful. The less time you waste doing things like these that need to be done but have to be done constantly, the more time you have for working on what you really want to be working on, like building your really cool castle or gathering everything you need to enchant legendary weapons, or just going out and exploring. So we're going to get these planted real quick, and then I'm going to show you what I drew out those guidelines for over by our dark oak tree. We have a nice little farm plot here. We can grow a lot of different crops and a lot of them. And that's going to be very helpful moving forward for reasons that you'll see in later videos. But in addition to plants, we can also grow livestock, or raise livestock, to use the correct verb. But we're going to need a place for them to live. Unlike these plants, they like to wander around, so we have to create pens for them so that we can keep them in one spot, so they're easy to breed, easy to butcher when we need to, easy to harvest for their products. You can get sheep, they have wool. It's about nighttime now, we're going to sleep. And then I can show you all what that's going to look like. Alright, so we're going to put a stack of wheat here. The reason I'm putting these single wheats here is the bale of hay. It requires 9 wheat, and 63 is a multiple of 9. So items in this game stack to 64, which is one more than we need to come out neatly like that. And now we have a ton of wheat, which is one of the reasons why our next project is to get some livestock. Now we have a lot more seeds than we need, and there's something we can do about that. We're not going to do anything about it just yet. We're just going to put it over here for now, so that we don't keep ourselves from what we need to be doing immediately. Alright, so these guidelines here are for me to show you easily and to remind myself exactly how big we want these pens to be. Now there are better pen designs than the one I'm about to show you. What this one I'm about to show you is, well, it's a very simple, quick and dirty way of getting an animal pen going. You don't have to make those little paths like I have. And here we have an animal pen. Animals, much like characters in Minecraft, can go up can go up 1 block at a time, but can't go up 2. So we're making pens that the animals aren't going to be able to get out of. Once again, this is quick and dirty. There are better ways of doing this, but this is really fast. We can get some animals getting bred so that they're ready to start producing the products we need when we start trading with villagers later. That's basically what we've been building up toward all this time. Oops, I went a little too far. You see those guidelines? Let me know I've gone too far. I forgot to leave my stair out. The reason we're making 4 of these trenches is much like the crops. There are 4 different kinds of livestock. Now, 4 different major kinds of livestock. If you really want to get into it, there's all kinds of animals you can breed. There's all kinds of plants you can grow too. But the reason I keep talking about 4 kinds of plants is those villagers I mentioned before that will trade with you, like this wandering trader. This wandering trader only takes cash. He only takes emeralds. As you can see, ooh, nautilus shell, nice. That's something we could use if we had money, and we don't. I'm going to harvest these melons so he doesn't trample any more of our fields. All right. Villagers, unlike that wandering trader, will buy and sell, so we can get stuff to them. And there's a farmer villager that buys wheat. There are a number of different villagers. Well, there's a couple of different villagers that will buy paper, which we can make with this sugarcane we've been growing. And the villagers that buy paper are particularly important for our strategy later on. But I'm not going to spend any more time talking about that right now. We need animals. As you can see, if you look off in the distance over there, there's some animals over there. Now, We can lead them through the water. They are capable of swimming, but it's very, very slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a bridge over to that island. A really quick bridge, because we have loads of wood. We have way more wood than we know what to do with. So we are going to use that wood to build a bridge so that we can get things over here faster and we can start getting our work, start getting our livestock operation going. Getting a little hungry there. Let's eat some bread. Now we're going to take these logs and turn them all into planks. Ah yes, before we go over there, we were going to fence this in. We should handle that real quick. Last thing we want is to fall in there on accident. We're going to look for fences. Here's fences. So we need sticks and planks to make fences. We are going to need more sticks. I'm not sure exactly how many sticks we're going to need. Oh, I forgot we have sticks in here. Loads and loads of sticks. Oh well. So we can sort these. That's the tool tab. That's the block tab. This is the redstone mechanism. Or no, this is the redstone mechanism tab. And here we have the place where we can find fences. We're going to need, probably about 20 of these or so, I think. Alright. Actually, it's going to be a lot more than that now that I look at what I'm going to be putting down. A lot more than that. What we want is to not fall down by accident, so we're going to fence this area here. And what that's going to do is, you see how right now we can poke our nose off the edge of that. We can't do that here. We can walk off the edge over here. We can't walk off the edge over here. So we're going to fence that off. I think I'm not going to like how that's popping us up the way that it is. But hopefully it won't be too annoying and we won't run into it too much. Now, this trader's doing a great job of trampling our fields for us, but we don't want to trample it ourselves, so I'm going to fence this area off too. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, let's do 11 of those, so we need 22 fence pieces for that. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 18 plus 3 is a little bit more than we need. No, a little bit less than we need. Miscounted. Let's get one more. We're going to need more than that, but this will be a good start. This is probably how he fell on our melons, isn't it? Came up here and then wandered down there. Look at that, he lost his friend. That probably means he dropped something for us. Oh no, these leads that he's using will break if they get too far away. We can pick them up and use them for ourselves. They're very useful. We can make them ourselves, but if he's going to drop them for us, I'm going to pick them up. Alright, let's put that. Come on now. There we go. Alright, we're going to fence that off. Hey buddy. Not sure why it wasn't letting me place that fence. Alright, so that's successfully fenced off. Now we need a little bit of fencing for down here, because we don't want to fall off over here either. So just one fence will do here. Although we might as well just, anyway. We're going to put 2 fence pieces there, And, well, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. That way we can just go down here and not fall off. So that's 5. Five fence pieces. It's one more than we need. If you don't like it, we can burn it. Get out of my way, buddy. Thank you. You should thank me. Now you won't fall to your death either, Mr. Trader. Oh, looks like we do need a little bit more. Because we can still walk on top of that if we're being particularly clumsy. So we're going to need one more piece. I'm in the wrong thing. We need this. All right, put one piece there, and I think then we are good. Yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have to come down here and light up the darkness down there. You'll see I put one torch down there. Almost got myself killed doing it. We need to light that area up so we don't have skeletons sniping at us every time we peek out. All right, we'll put those extra fences there. These planks we could definitely still use. And we really want to have these wood pieces go as far as they can, so I think we're going to make planks out of them. Or not planks, but slabs out of them. And we just turned our 2 or 3 stacks of wood planks into 5.5 stacks almost of slabs. They're a little bit harder to place, but they go farther, so let's do that. Are we good here? We should make some stairs here. But we're starting to run out of time for this video, so I want to try and get this bridge made as quickly as possible. Oops. That's what I was trying to avoid. That's why I say it's a little tricky. I suppose we could just do it like this. We're going to do 3. Oh, I'm not doing 3 anymore, am I? I just unintentionally made that a little bigger. Now it's going to get even trickier because we're going to have to manage our elevation. Have to pardon the background noise. And we're just going to keep on like that until we get all the way to that island. This is going to be wide enough that we don't have to worry about our cows falling off the bridge too much. They might a little bit. In fact, they almost certainly will a little bit. But we'll be able to run back and forth real quick and easy. And if we want to, we can pick these slabs up later once we don't need them for a bridge. Tricky, tricky. Can't break bricks very quick when you're floating in the water. There's a speed penalty to breaking bricks if your head is underwater. And there's another speed penalty if your feet aren't touching the ground. And for a second there, we had both of those penalties going, which is no good at all. we're really having trouble, aren't we? Maybe we'll fix it when we get back. We'll finish it, rather. Almost there. See, the water is getting shallow again. So we're almost to the island. Oh, it's a little bit further than I thought. Sometimes it's best to take a little time to save yourself a lot of time. We could cross this water really fast. Those cows, they swim very slow. They move slow even on land. All right. Just a few more rows. There we go. All right, let's fix those mistakes real quick. And let's see what it looked like. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty neat. Apparently we needed them to be 4 wide, not 3 wide, after all. So now we have roughly a 2 wide path to walk on. See, they're staggered like that. All right, now how do we get the cows to follow us, you ask? Well, food's a good motivator. And I forgot to bring wheat with me, which is what they eat. So we're gonna go back and grab some real quick. And we're gonna lead them to their new home. It's not gonna be comfortable, but it comes with free room and board. And let's see. There we are. We made way more of those than we needed. I'm sure we could put them to use. Oh, look at all those flowers over there. That's pretty. We're gonna have to go explore that later. All right, let's grab some cows. We have 4 cows here. It might be good for me to leave a couple of them here, just in case something crazy happens, you know, like a creeper jumps down in their corral and blows them all up. We'll want a couple still alive over here as backups. So we're just going to try and attract 2 of them and lead them back. In fact, well, they won't wander that far. I was say maybe we should break the bridge so that they can't wander into camp, because they can swim, but they don't swim on purpose. They'll only swim if they're following you. They're following us. Alright, so we've got all these fences up. Might just have to walk them around the fence. And we have to decide which one of these to put them in. The one on the left has grass in it, so we don't want to put them in that one. And yeah, let's put them in this one here. We're going to put sheep in the one that has grass on the bottom. Alright, now they're in their pen. They'll be able to walk out just like me Oh, they're already trying to walk out. Get back in here. Okay, so this is how we're going to get out and not let them get out. We're going to break this brick. We're going to jump out. We're going to pop it right back down, just like that. Not as convenient as an above ground construction method, but it'll do for now. We're just looking to get something going real quick and easy. Alright, so we have 2 cows in here, steer, I guess, what you call the males. Little known fact. You raise, there we go. Sorry, I should be talking about what I'm doing. So you give the cow, the steer, the whatever, I'm going to call them cows. It says cow on the subtitles, even though they have horns. You feed a cow a piece of wheat. If you feed 2 of them a piece of wheat, you saw those little hearts that popped up over their head. That puts them into breeding mode. Love mode, I think is what they call it. But if 2 are in that mode and they can find each other and get to each other, then they'll mate to make a little baby. There'll be even more hearts when they do that. So now we have cows. We can only put them into that mode once every 5 minutes. I'm clicking trying to feed them more and it won't let me. So in 5 minutes, we can feed them again. Basically during one day time, from sunrise to sunset, that's 10 minutes. So we can feed them maybe twice a day. And it usually ends up amounting to once a day. But if we're really on top of it, we're really concerned about getting things going quickly, like maybe we are, we can come and feed them every 5 minutes. And you see those little green sparkles. If you feed the babies, they grow up a little faster. It takes 20 minutes for a baby to grow up. But if you feed them one of these wheats, that shortens that time by 5 minutes. So if we give them one now and one tomorrow sometime, then we might be able to cut a whole day off of this maturation time. I'm not sure if that's how it works. I think it may only work once, but it still helps. When you're trying to at very first increase your population, that can help you get going faster. Alright, so that I think is about it for this video. We got our corral built. We learned how to harvest wheat and replant it quickly, although we had already done the replanting in the previous video. We got ourselves fenced off here so we're not going to fall in that hole. Probably going to put up some more of those fences. I'm sure there's some other places where they'd be really useful. Maybe at the edge of this field. But I'm not going to do that right now. I might do that between videos. Thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.